Next on Halfway to Halloween, this is someone who was part of the very first convention that I ever hosted, moderated for Sinister Creature Con, and this was someone who had become and still is one of my best friends within doing all this stuff, writing and making independent films. And doing convention appearances, horror hosting, very similar stuff that we each have gotten to do. And every once in a while in doing it, our paths have crossed, and it's always a super fun time when they do. So I'm super stoked to welcome someone who is totally not only a friend, but an inspiration to me, Michelle Nessk, to Halfway to Halloween. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good. Doing good. The fact of the matter is we have done, if you count the virtual ones, the majority of this since I have come on to Sinister Creature Con, we've actually done it to some caveat together, which is always super dope. From that panel with Josh to the one that we did with Catherine Isabel that stalked in, and then we turned that back to back, and you and I just did one, you and I on stage that stalked in. That was dope. To all the stuff over COVID, the mega roundtable you did last year. That was a lot of fun. But always, you've got some super dope thing that you were doing. And you just not too long ago, working on a re-release of pronounce the name of your film.
O Unilateralis.
O Unilateralis. So you re-released that, and then the short that you worked on with Tonya Atomic is getting a shitload of love too right now recently.
Two of them, yeah. 333 Illuminati and Just a Prig. And they're kicking ass.
Both of them are super fun watches. They're dope horror shorts, but they're just it's even doper. It's always dope to watch someone that you know personally in something. And so it's dope to know that you made this. So it's makes it even that much more fun. And horror movies can be freaky and fun at the same time. Absolutely. So both of these short films are super fun. Congratulations on all of that. That is freaking awesome.
Thank you.
And the fact that it at least appears that the in-person, convention stuff, knock on wood, is able to kind of move forward at a moderated, hate to use the term new normal in-person con experience. You get to go back and do horror hosting or moderation hosting and that kind of stuff too, which is dope. That was my favorite thing to come back was when we got to do Sinister in person again last year, and people came and were so stoked. It was awesome.
This is it'll be May 20th, to the 22nd at Crypticon Seattle, and we'll be screening Horrors of the PNW, and then which is an annual occurrence with Crypticon, and this year I'm just going to do one panel, and which is fun because I get to do queer horror, which is a favorite subject. I've learned so many things from it. One year I hadn't seen Silence of the Lambs since I was little, and then we were discussing it, and someone brought it up as a representation of trans horror, and I was I don't know, is it trans horror? I don't think so. And then a super expert actually was stop the room, everybody has to know. it's not trans horror because he's not trans. Remember, he was denied. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And so like, and it was like about like the villain. I like it. The reason why they did it that way is because they didn't want trans people to feel like they were being villainized. But anyways, so I learned that, which was really cool. So essentially, Silence of the Lambs is not queer horror. I'm sorry, that was a random tangent, but people need to know because I'm tired of seeing it being cited.
That
Because I'm taught otherwise by a very authoritative person. So,
the film Silence of the Lambs, that's very interesting that guy would say that he was denied, because to see him quote unquote denied, it was even freaking creepier to see like the red dragon transformation portrayed on film.
yeah.
And that guy is like fully transformed. So is Red Dragon trans horror then? Because no?
No. Trans is very like, male, female, non-binary, gender fluid, that kind of thing.
Got
You
you.
know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like I think going like I suppose like
Because I wouldn't say that Buffalo.
but I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I mean, I have friends who are trans species and I respect their position. I don't know if it's necessarily under the trans umbrella. I would have to ask them. Like, I can't speak with authority on that, so I don't know. It's like I leave things up like when like there's someone who knows more than me on the subject. I will ask them, and then they tell me, and then I ask other people who are authorities on the subject, and then collect a common consensus.
The
So I don't.
way just in that subject, my scream queen, leading my leading victim. Well, you never actually, spoiler it, see or die in my newest film, but May is trans. So I'd be curious to ask her, because Buffalo Bill, it's interesting that it's marked as he's denied, because he was always so confident. I never denial of who he was never seemed to me that he was absolutely kind of pissed off when the plan didn't go his way at the end. But he seemed very assured of himself the entire movie.
I think it like I went back and watched it after I did that panel, and then got to hear some fantastic words on it, and I definitely don't get a trans impression from Buffalo Bill. Like, I feel like Buffalo Bill, it's not so much that Buffalo Bill is a woman or even wants to be a woman. It's more like Buffalo Bill itemizes women and objectifies women and covets women, and Buffalo Bill wants to covet himself.
That's a good,
And so that's going deeper from what I was told. Not that what I was told wasn't deep, just like coming to my own summation. I feel it was more like Buffalo Bill just didn't really view women as humans. And like even Buffalo Bill, like the way that he resents these like the fact that because because didn't he, I could be mistaken, but doesn't he like initially kidnap a much smaller girl, and like the skin, and the skin doesn't fit, and like he's just really angry about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then like so he starts kidnapping bigger girls, but then like he hates them for being bigger. Like the way he the disparaging language that he uses against them. Like, I mean, of course, he's kidnapping them. He's going to skin them. Of course, he's going to be disparaging. But
Yeah.
the way he chooses to, like, the words that he chooses are attacks on their body. So it's like, imagine getting kidnapped and you're like, whoa, this guy wants me. This is really scary. Don't rape me, mister. And he's like, oh, I wouldn't rape you. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
No,
it's
totally.
yeah. So,
That, yeah.
no, Buffalo Bill is a strange character because, like, if anything, for me, Buffalo Bill always represented the epitome of like self-involved and then like narcissistic and then like super misogyny all combined into one. And so, like, you know, like I said, the itemization of women, the objectification, and then wanting to be something that he himself would be attracted to, so he could truly finally love himself because he hates himself. But yeah, so I'm a rambler. Let's go.
No, it's just funny to think because a lot of those kind of characters um that make you think like multiple layers into it like that, they always seem like they are some kind of Stephen King like verse like type persona, like the Black Phone Ethan Hawke coming out right now, like this character, having not read Joe Hill's book at all or anything, but this character seems like it's going to be a very borderline Buffalo Bill level of like whatever is broken inside of this guy mentally to have murdered all these kids, you know, in a Pennywise-esque cinematic fashion. They're all coming back as ghosts and shit, trying to help the one kid survive being abducted by Ethan Hawke. Having not read this book, but this book looks like it's dealing with like a Buffalo Bill level kind of like dark character. Seems like the 90s really kind of brought out that like in the horror movie thing, like the 90s it was very like those kind of characters, and then boom, like 2000 hits, the Scream franchise just like goes completely off the chart. Then we kind of like took the left turn into video games for a while with Resident Evil, Silent Hill. Those were like box office giants for a while. And then we kind of like hit the right turn into like paranormal and ghosts and shit again. And now we're like truly in like an indie hodgepodge, like everything is popular. But what do you think, in your infinite wisdom, cinematically, what do you think the next big trend's going to be? If you had to pick one to bet the house on, what one are you picking?
Like what I want or what I think?
No, what you think. Because what you want and what you think can be two totally different things.
No, I know. Let's see here. If I were a betting man, I have to think. Give me a second. Like, give me 2 seconds.
Subgenre of horror.
Yeah. I'm gonna stay religious.
Okay.
I feel like we are headed toward a lot of religious horror. I feel like it's just around the bend. Like, you have people who are more secularists, secularists who find religion entertaining, secularists who find religion frightening, and then secularists who resent religion. And then we got like people who are turning to spirituality, right? And so like there we have like Wiccans and very different types of spiritual workers who are, you know, wanting their stuff seen. And then we have like, can I be rude?
No, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Fundamental Christians. And they're trying to push all that stuff in as well, you know. And so I feel like we're going to see a huge kind of explosion of it, kind of like how we got in like the 1970s. There was this whole like push for religious-based horror, like I can't remember the name of the movie, but the girl, she's a Mennonite, I think, and then she marries a man, and then like the Mennonite family comes because her family line is cursed, and she was supposed to come back and not marry the man, and like so all this crazy stuff happens, and then and then all your witch horrors, and then all your priest horrors, and like sometimes the priest is evil, sometimes the priest is good, which The Exorcist too, right? We got the weird predators, that you know what I mean. Like they hit a lot of nails on the head with that one, but I feel like religious horror is what is on its way. Like we begin a little trickle here and there of it, but I feel like it's going to hit us full tilt, and it's going to be really, really fun. I personally enjoy that stuff. I my favorite thing to do after watching The Exorcist is, randomly just being like, the power of Christ compels you. It's fun. Say it. Say it now. Try it.
Yeah.
No, try it. Say it.
The power of Christ compels you.
Doesn't that feel fun?
It's definitely be a fun scene to direct.
Yeah. I think it's fun to say. I don't know.
The fun in the scene for me has always been to be the demon.
The demon? Oh, Captain Howdy?
It's always like
you see it.
I don't know, in every haunted house I've ever like worked in or anything else, like it's always funner for me to be the like one banging on the set on the wall. Like I've broken more shit in haunted houses, like just scaring people, than being like said good guy. I'd be like a quote priest or victim or whatever you call the protagonist of a haunted house scene. Like, no, it's always funner to be like the clown or the demon or whatever and mess shit up for people.
It's when I do haunted houses, I'm always like, I want to be the victim so I can take a nap. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's true. Like, between filming and everything else, like, a nap is nice. But I always end up getting cast like as like kind of like a ring girl, and they're all, can you do your little laugh that you do and like the voice? And I'm like, are you serious? My throat's gonna be so strained by the end of this. So the whole time I'm like, hi everybody, I'm over here. And after a while I get really good at it. Like I start out, it sucks, and then it goes okay, and then it gets good, and then it sucks again, and then I'm done. So I usually only do a couple of nights with the haunts because it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just want to take it out.
Have you done any like big theme park Halloween events ever, like a Halloween Horror Nights or anything like that in California? Like
no.
Oh man,
you
got to check it out.
I should.
It's quite a time.
Yeah, like Not Scary Farm or.
Not as I mean, there's a bunch of people podcasts on this show over the course of this weekend that would tell you that Not Scary Farm is the best one in California. I like Universal's just because I like being able to stop and look at all the set design. Like you walk into a sound stage and a spaceship is like smack dab in the middle of this forest, and you walk into the spaceship, and when you come out of the spaceship, you're now like in a village, and it's like the town from Predator versus Alien. And it's like this battle of like these predators and aliens all around you, and the whole thing ends with you walking into the barn and the queen alien is in this barn. She's probably, if I had to guess, 20 feet tall, over the top of you, and then you walk out, and that's the end of the haunted house. Like shit, like that is only possible at Universal.
Hey, she's 20 feet tall.
20 feet tall.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and like she's not like fully mobile, but it's like mobile enough to where she's like swinging her arms over the top of you, type of a thing.
That's phenomenal.
As you walk out, like across the last room diagonally.
I have a very big obsession with very like super tall women, like 50. The Attack of the 50-Foot Woman is like, I love it. I love it so much. Like, she's so big. She's gonna step on everybody. It's great.
That was a good one. They always do at least like one good haunted house with that kind of a character too. It's good stuff. So what now currently, like you're having the success from the shorts that you guys have done, but what does the future hold? What is up next? Because it always seems like you got something brewing.
Well, let's see here. I'm working something out with my friend Michael Moore. If his name sounds familiar, not the documentarian, the writer. He's a prison inmate, and he's been writing from within the prison, and he's a very prolific writer. He's won a lot of awards. A lot of the stuff that he does is about like prison reform. He's in there, so he knows what it's about, and I really admire him. So it's so we're looking at his script right now, and we're friends, but we're also, this is business, so we're in negotiations about his script and how we're gonna do that. And so I'm super excited for it. Tanya and I have some more projects going, and so I'm pretty excited about the things to come. There's more. I just can't think of them right now. I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. The Michael Moore thing seems super interesting. So if this thing moves forward, are you talking about like doing like an authorized autobiographical movie? Like what kind of script is he writing?
No, he actually does have an autobiographical movie coming out.
Oh wow.
About him, yeah. And that's being handled by people much more important than me, but like no, this is because he really loves the horror genre. So we're going to be working on one of his horror scripts that I'm coming into, and it's so I'm going through it and putting in my edits, and we're going through it with our different passes on it. And so that's where we'll be going with that.
That's pretty dope, man.
I'm excited. Otherwise, let's see here. I have another continuation film that I'm making that is in conglomeration to my entire like film universe that I work within. Most of my films are, within my film universe. And then I have another project that I'll be working on with Tanya, and I don't want to jinx it, but I can say that we were approached by a very well-known studio and about having them produce something of ours. And there's this one that I've been wanting to make for a really long time. And it's based on an interest that I have that I think is really cool. And so, I'm pretty excited about that. So hopefully, I don't want to jinx it. So I'm like, what can I say? What can't I say?
No, for sure. That sounds. I mean, just by telling, looking at the way that you're telling about it, you're super excited about it. So I can imagine, you know, you guys working together, getting back together. Um, that's pretty cool. You have like your own collab, in that regard. But then you, like you said, getting to work within your own universe that you've set up as well. That going back into that as well seems like that's got you really stoked too. So that's cool, man. You got some pretty fun sounding stuff coming up in your future.
It's exciting.
Yeah, the scene up there. Um, do you think? Because I just talked to a guy who is composing films in Illinois, and he was like really stoked on the indie horror scene of Illinois. He was like the indie like film scene and like the indie horror thing scene, especially up here right now, seems like super strong. Where do you kind of put the Pacific Northwest indie horror wise? Like, does it seem like it's like getting more interest, kind of maintaining where it's been, declining a little bit? Where would you say it's at?
Um, I would say that uh, hmm, I think there's a lot of different indie film communities out here, and then we have some bigger ones, which definitely dominate the area. So
Hmm.
uh, we have like Crypticon Seattle, which pulls a lot for the indie film community, which is fantastic, with focus on horror. And then of course the film festival Bleedingham, which is in Bellingham, Washington, headed by Gary Washington, Michelle Barklin. I don't know if she goes by Washington now. They're married. They're amazing. They're beautiful. I love them. They are the moment. And then Langley West and Casey Schmidt, and they are Bleedingham, and they themselves work within indie horror films, and it's. I think we do have a healthy element of it out here, and you get a lot of grassroots, and I think the best part is, over the years, there people will contact me and they'll be like, hey, I'm working on a script someday, or hey, I do this and I'm hoping to make a movie someday. And I'm like, man, I hope you do, you know what I mean? And until the plague hit, sorry, I was always like, ready to run to those sets. If I was off, then like they had my sword. But
Yeah.
you know, but it's what's been really cool is seeing the people who have gotten their films done. You know what I mean? Their first films done in the middle of all this, and like just now, like it just got out post, and they're ready to push it out there. And all I can is like, fuck, good for you. Like, how cool is it? Because it does feel like the Pacific Northwest has a constant stream of new filmmakers coming. So, there's always someone to discover, if you are a connoisseur of indie films.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like the originality factor of indie horror too. Like the original stories are very like vast in indie horror compared to mass market, and that of course is because of the money invested. The studio wants to make its money back and yada yada yada. But the you know indie film, having an indie film, and the fun that it kind of allows you to play with, especially like when it's your own money, and for a fact you're not going to make any money off of the movie. It makes you, I think, like try to make like stuff last longer, like
Mm-hmm.
same like props and shit, like just like small stuff, but like enough small stuff adds up after a while. And like tricks, like I used like lighting tricks and shit like on 3 student films, and then immediately like went to that shit for the Ghost Executioners one that we just did, like, and it was all like centered around like how to light your thing like an 80s, like Nightmare on Elm Street meets like if you were gonna bring like an 80s Ghostbuster cartoon color palette but bring it to live action. So these guys like looked like the Ghostbusters per se, but they had like a Nightmare on Elm Street like pastel like pinks and like purple overlay when they were busting the demon ghosts. And like I think if I was like if you like took that and like gave it like a big movie style budget, they would never like let you make decisions like that with like $60 million on the line. Like they wouldn't. They'd be like, no, it just needs to be like a boring looking ghost. And Chris Farley and David Spade tell some jokes along the way, and they learned how to bust ghosts, and then they bust the one demon ghost, and then that's the end of the movie. And there we go. Like
I would watch that though.
everybody would watch it. That is the freaking problem.
No, it's big budget horror allows for indie horror. Like, I feel like if big budget horror went away, then indie horror wouldn't really have as much of a chance because you get people who are like, I want to see something new. And then they watch their big budget horror, and then there's no other big budget horror coming out, right? And then they start looking towards the indie horror. Like, I look at big budget horror, especially if it's like silly comedy stuff, kind of like a High Spirits with Daryl Hannah, you know. It's a gateway drug, especially like for kids. Like that stuff is definitely the gateway drug for kids. Like for me, definitely those movies, I would watch them and the spooky parts were riveting, but then it was like, haha, funny. So, and then I found myself kind of like, I tasted blood, I want more kind of situation. So, of course, I did find myself delving into stuff maybe I shouldn't have been watching, like was really young. So like Flesh-Eating Moms or Red-Blooded American Girl or Cat o' Nine Tails or Suspiria or like Fulci's Zombie. Like, there's, I don't think maybe I should have been watching those, but I did. So.
It's interesting because like mine was Pet Cemetery, Halloween, Camp Crystal, or I should say Friday the 13th. Man, for sure, like Suspiria was definitely one that I know I came across it at like way too young of an age to like fully grasp everything going on, but I remember the visual stuff when I came back to it as an adult. A lot of the foreign supernatural stuff, like the actual like Asian version of like the Grudges and the Rings and all those ones that got brought over. And then, like, Sarah Michelle Gellar was in the Grudge ones, I think. And we also got the Ring ones for like 2 or 3 movies. But all the original versions of those are way scarier than the American version. Yeah, man.
They really are.
And then Scream dominated like my junior high and high school horror experience. growing up, going through high school with that franchise was a blast. I love those movies.
I just saw those for the first time.
Damn, really?
Mm-hmm. I
Did
loved
you
them.
like?
Every single one of them. Okay, so I'm a binge watcher. I am not
Yeah.
good with episodic. If I have to watch it episodic, I am gonna fall off. You know, like I won't be there. But if I can just take it in a package and be like, I'm just gonna watch one after the other every chance I get,
Mm-hmm.
that is the experience for me. So back to back, the screams, the esoteric references, the way that they get meta when they make fun of themselves, like, oh, it's good. It's fun. Like it makes me laugh. Like it has elements. Like I'd say the screams accomplish what scary movies wanted to accomplish, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. I think that they are like the total love letter to every slasher movie ever. I think they completely retell the same love story they have now, especially with the one that just came out this last year here. They've kind of like redid the love story to the new modernization of the slasher over the last like 5 years. But yeah, I think they really are. They really are like little like just trope love letters for. But
Oh, I thought you froze. You know what's really funny? I was doing another show for Without Your Head about Friday the 13th, right? And I had this realization. Can I tell you about it?
yeah, totally.
The first Friday the 13th, in my experience seeing it, I was like, like 3 or 4 years old, I think.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that movie is the reason why I'm a raging feminist.
interesting.
I'm not breaking it down, but yeah.
We're talking the original.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, directly related to Mrs. Voorhees or no?
No, but I do have a fascination for Mama Voorhees because damn, she loves her kid. And that's touching. So, but no, it was more oh, I guess I will break it down. So more about like is a Friday the 13th really helped break in that trope of like the slut, the virgin, you know what I'm saying? And like, you have your different characters and like they're punished accordingly, so the innocent girl can get through it. And because that's, Mama Voorhees is punishing them because what was it? It was horniness that got her kid killed in the first place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, sex is bad. And it's there were disparaging comments being made as the girl was getting killed. And like I remember just getting really defensive about it. It's kind of similar to the scene in Four Rooms where they find the sex worker in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And the little girl is like, stop calling her that. Every time the bellhop is talking about the girl in the bed, the dead woman in the bed, kind of that vibe. You know what I mean? Where it was like I was very like heated about it, and then I kind of came away from that with this like realization and of like, it's I got to cheer for the people who are getting punished the most in the horror movies and like hope for them to run. And then and I just realized recently when I was breaking down my love and adoration and my connection to the Friday the 13th franchise and why I'm connected to it so deeply. And that's why. Like it was very influential in that for me. So much so that the film 13 Fanboy, Deborah Voorhees, Corey Feldman, it just came out on HBO. I'm actually a producer on it, or not HBO. I'm so sorry. Showtime. Showtime. There we go. Mm.
Nice. That's super exciting.
It is exciting. It's I'm just one of the producers. But it's really cool because like that means like I don't know. I get to cheer with my name on it. So like look at that.
Did you get to like come onto the set or like be involved in the post production or anything like that?
No. I just threw money at it because I believed in it.
That is I mean, that is something that is always a lot of fun to watch, like the Nightmare on Elm Street documentaries or the Friday the 13th documentaries or the Halloween documentaries. Like,
Oh yeah,
those,
this isn't a documentary though.
I'm sorry.
It's not a documentary.
Oh, it's not a documentary.
No, it's super meta. Okay, so Deborah Voorhees is the primary writer for it. You know who Deborah Voorhees is, of course.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, I love her. So basically it's a meta story, okay, about a super fan of the Friday the 13th franchise. And he decides that he's going to start stalking all the actors who were in those movies. So everyone's really blaming themselves. Yeah. And I've seen a lot of confusion with that. But yeah, no, so like the serial killer is stalking all the actors and all the actors are playing themselves. So Corey Feldman's playing himself.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's rad. That's super rad. So that had to have been like a super blast to have gotten to work with them playing like meta versions of themselves. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's I finally saw I had the opportunity recently, like the downtime, to watch it, and it's fucking good.
Yeah.
So Deborah and her team did a fantastic job. So I'm really excited and proud that I, in my little itty bitty way,
That's super dope. And you said that is available or that is not yet available?
It's on Showtime.
It's on Showtime. Wow, that's rad, man. The fact that it's the Friday the 13th like cast members is perfect too. Like I feel like they are the right amount of that franchise is centered around like the perfect amount of like campy, like over the top badass like kills that those characters can pull off like the best like over the top meta versions of themselves. That's just like they play themselves, but it's dialed up, I would imagine. And I feel like that's perfect. Friday the 13th characters. So it's like the same reason why everybody lost their shit when the Friday the 13th video game was announced. Why they're losing the shit over the Evil Dead video game right now.
Yeah.
Like there's certain franchises that you just know when you do reunions. Rocky Horror Picture Show, same way. Genetic Opera, same way. Like just shit's gonna go down when you get them all together. And Friday the 13th is you get enough of them together, like shit goes down, like always. So yeah, I cannot wait to check out. Like I will track this thing down definitely. The way that is always fun to watch Jason Voorhees or anything surrounding like Jason Voorhees. Well, fan fiction like the one that Tom Matthews did his role in that was just like a YouTube fan fiction movie, but they got Tommy Jarvis to have like a 2.5 minute cameo, and I thought that was super dope. So like Jason always like seems like he gets like the amount of like people that will come together to make something dope happen. And it's like a project that seems like it's centered around Jason a lot. Why do you think so many people love that character?
I think, you know, he kind of is he is the absolutely perfect example of the saying, walk softly but carry a big stick.
For sure.
So, you know, that strong silent type, I think it just gets people. And also maybe everybody just really likes the idea of like a mother's love being so strong it brings her child back from the dead and infuses him to become a full-grown man.
Yeah. I mean, the reanimation scenes were always pretty wild. My favorite being number 6 with CJ Graham's like Frankenstein, complete like lightning strikes the freaking fence that's shoved into his chest. And
Yeah, because Jarvis tries to dig him up because he's having all the nightmares, and it becomes a self-fulfilling fucking prophecy.
Yeah.
Because like if he hadn't have done it and left the fucking shovel in him, I'm sorry, I'm dropping F-bombs. Is this okay?
No, yeah, you're fine.
Okay, cool. All right. So, anyways, yeah, no, if he hadn't have done that in the lightning, like, good job, Tommy.
Yeah.
So, without Tommy, there wouldn't have been a continuation. I actually have a question. How do you feel about the fact that he's a Deadite?
I feel like the fact that he is a Deadite, if you say those words and you wrap your mind around those words, Jason Voorhees is a Deadite. It makes me more angry that we have to this day not gotten Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. Like, I want that movie. I know we have the comic book. I know we have fan fiction, but I want to see the, like, ultra over the top, like, let Sam Raimi direct it. I don't care. Like, make it like the most ultra over the top fan service, camp service movie, but like make the movie, make it happen.
Absolutely.
And like make it happen fast.
I don't know, like with Freddy's dead and Jason, you know what I mean? And then like we got like, and then Jason goes to hell. Like we see the same creatures.
Yeah.
Little like fleshy sperms. And they're like, figure 8, we're scary. They're like flying in the air. So I remember when I like saw those two, I was like, they're fucking Deadites, man. This is cool. Because like I recall seeing something like that when Ash travels through time in Army of Darkness. Now I could be wrong. Like I could just be like it belongs there, and so it is in my brain. So I could be wrong. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. It's been a couple of months. So
I think that that them was all planned, like the 3 of them versus each other. I think that was all part of a plan. So the fact that they are all connected makes complete sense.
Why didn't we get that? Money.
Yes. Exactly. I don't know what it's the same thing. Like Hodder tells the story about how he wanted to be Jason and Freddy versus Jason. That was pretty much brought out from under him and offered to I think it's Ken Surger guy, and that Freddy was ready to go with Hodder, thought it was going to be Hodder, but it ended up not happening, and what we got is what we got. But like the amount of like horror advertisement, if you had Robert Englund versus Bruce Campbell versus Kane Hodder, like That's every like slasher fan, like horror movie, bro. Like that's everybody's wet dream, man. Like everybody would just be going like losing their mind over that movie.
Oh yeah, Hodder has played Jason the most, like out of anybody. You know what I mean? So you kind of, and I've said this a lot, So yeah, but he bodies the role, So that would have been cool. I wonder. I mean, it can't be too late. I think it would all be contingent upon like Robert England even wanting to be Freddy again. But like it really sounds like he doesn't want to be, and he wants like, what was it, Kevin Bacon? But
Yeah.
listen, okay, if Kevin Bacon becomes Freddy, now don't get me wrong, I believe in Kevin Bacon. He's scary. He's in that one movie where he plays like the spooky priest, and those boys are in the Bronx and they knock over like a hot dog stand, and then they have to spend time with the spooky priest.
Mm-hmm.
Like that movie fucked me up. Okay, it fucked me up. But so we know he can play spooky. I believe in Kevin Bacon. I believe in him. But if he ends up being Freddy, if they do not give us a Footloose dance sequence in the middle of a fucking warehouse, like a factory, I will riot. I will, like, one person riot. Sorry, this is a very serious subject.
That is a good one that we have to unfortunately end the panel on that note. But that is a solid note to end it on. Tell everybody where they can find you, though, and keep track of your projects and what you got going on.
I'm always somewhere, man. Okay, I love you. Bye.
The encapsulating Michelle Nessk, everybody. We thank you. Thank you for watching, and we will keep track of everything that she has in the works here in the rest of 2022. Thank you very much.
Thank you.